Now I'm about to ask you to do a couple things. Firstly, you need to cut the grass. Then I need you to go inside, do the dishes. I need you to also go fix the car, change the oil, make sure that you go pick up the kids from school, do your 8-hour job. Oh, and if your 8-hour job isn't paying you enough, you need to go find another job to work at. And then you need help with the kids. Oh, and then if possible, could you cook dinner? Yeah, that sounds like a lot, doesn't it?
Yep.
Now, some of those seem like things you would typically ask women, but there are some men that are asked to do the impossible quite often. Asked to do all that and more. So today, we'll be looking into, if you will, the bootstraps that men are forced to pull on.
Yeah.
This is the Glass Floor Podcast. This is a podcast that is sponsored by NCFM, the National Coalition for Men, which was founded in 1977. They're an organization that is nonpartisan, diverse, inclusive, and working to fight against discrimination against men, boys, and the families that love them. So with that, my name is Katrina Overfield. This is my co-host, Tim Goldich. And we will be talking about men's bootstraps, basically.
Yeah. So, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, young man. How many times have you heard that one? It's often applied to men in general, all of men's issues, and that men seem to be falling behind women in so many ways. And many of the old timers and some of the new timers are just, all men have to do is just pick themselves up by their bootstraps, right?
Man up, basically.
Man up. Yeah. So, as always, there's a duality to these things. There is an element of flattery in it, that men can do the impossible. Go on, be a man about it. So there's a flattery, there's like the Rudyard Kipling poem. If you can restructure the chemical nature of the universe and turn back the tides of the Atlantic Ocean, and then you'll be a man, my son, you see. And so there's this aggrandization of the male, and there's this blackmail, this emotional blackmail for the male. It's depending on how you look at it. So what's so interesting about pick yourself up by your bootstraps is that it's impossible, right? To be explicit about it. If I reach down and pull on my bootstraps, no matter how hard I pull upward on my bootstraps, the same force downward is applied to my shoulders. They cancel each other out. So it's impossible to pick yourself up by your bootstraps. So that just makes it such a perfect metaphor for what we expect of men. And again, there's a flattery to it. It comes down to what I say all the time. It's men more respected but less loved, right? There's a respect toward men of, you can do the impossible, you can do it. And there's a lack of love. There's a lack of compassion, a lack of empathy. No, I can't pick myself up by my bootstraps. It's impossible. So this is the conundrum. And it's interesting because it's so emblematic of our attitudes toward men and masculinity.
And it just, not just going into the bootstraps themselves, just the things we ask them to do and the way we go about it. I mean, men are asked to do so many things in terms of just the amount of hours they work, just the tasks they have to do, all the skills they have to learn. We want them to be emotional, but not too emotional. We want them to be knowing how to do everything, but also, willing to learn. We want them to be understanding, but some people want them cold. I mean, it just seems impossible.
Right.
And I think what I'm thinking is like the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of pick 'em up by bootstraps. The men who do try to do that, the first thing that comes to my mind is Japan, oddly enough,
Uh-huh.
and just the amount of men that work for hours and
Yeah.
hours and
Drop dead
hours and then
sometimes.
drop dead
It's called
because of it.
Karoshi. I think it's called Karoshi, if I'm
Ju-
pronouncing it
ju-
right.
just to keep up the lifestyle and the money and you know the
Yeah.
stuff for family, and they're supposed to still have energy for their kids when they get home, and they're still supposed to, and that's not an excuse to not be a parent. You're still a parent, but you have to find the balance between your work, the things you have to do around the house, your kids, the time with your partner,
Yeah.
and you got to also figure out in that time as well how to somehow push yourself upwards in life as well. When you're younger and you're starting out in your career, you can work really, really hard and get somewhere. But realistically, the best approach is to know someone or to find connections, or you need some form of support. Um, what was the saying? It takes a village to raise a kid. I
Uh-huh.
mean, it's true in so many ways. You
Yeah.
can't just be the two parents.
I agree.
You need a lot of people. That doesn't mean community raising for those of you who will think of it that way. It just means you have the parents, and sometimes you have other people when you come in and help.
Ideally, yeah, like for millennia, there's been the parents and there's been the aunts and uncles and grandparents and yeah, the neighbors that you trust and everybody's involved. Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
And especially because, like, you can't, as I'd expect it all. You if you have a child young and you're both still building your careers, but you want the income level to have a little bit more luxuries, maybe you're just like surviving in a nicer neighborhood,
Hmm.
and you need more work,
Yeah.
more hours to
More
pay for
hours.
that.
Uh-huh.
And you either have to work more hours and expect less in the kid care department, or
Well, that's right. Every hour a man devotes to earning his family's love leaves with one fewer hour in which to be with his family's love. That's the
Mhm,
catch-22 on that one.
yeah. And then within that, hopefully you'd be developing your career, but you have to be patient on that development.
Hmm.
And sometimes people aren't willing to be patient. They're like, "Oh, why aren't you rich now?" Because I'm 24 out of college. I'm with debt.
Yeah. Yeah. So, being the way I am, and I look at things in terms of formulas and sort of theoretical constructs. And so I see, as I've discussed before, toward women, the rule is it's compassion, sense, accountability, which is infantilizing. It's loving women but not respecting them. Toward men, it's this accountability without compassion, which is ruthless, and it's respecting men but not loving them. Perhaps the ultimate example of that would be the World War I soldier boy who is freezing to death on his post and goes and finds a warm place to spend the night, and then he's lined up in front of a firing squad to be shot dead for cowardice for leaving his post. And not only is that the ultimate in accountability without compassion, but then there are his peers, 15, 16-year-old boys, are the ones assigned to be his executioner. And then they have to deal with the guilt and trauma
Mhm,
of shooting a bullet into this kid. Another thing we're probably going to talk about today is humanizing,
mhm.
right? And and we'll get to that in a minute. That's coming up. And any last thoughts about pick yourself up by your bootstraps?
I would say My last thoughts on it would be this, which is we're always about mirror opposites here.
Yeah.
And I know some people might point out, like, oh, with women, there's a lot of pressure as well. And believe me, I know that more than anyone being a Hispanic family.
Right.
They expect you to be able to cook, take care of the kids, clean the house.
Uh-huh.
Nowadays, also have a job because
Yeah.
you can barely afford
You can have it
to,
all. That's what
yeah,
feminism promises. And that's sort of a
and
mirror
and
opposite of this, isn't it?
yeah, and be a good mother and all that. And it's sort of the mirror opposite because the men have the same issue where they're expected to have all this income and this car and you know, be working hard but still somehow be attentive and passionate and everything else all at the same time. And it's
Yeah.
like,
But right, there's always a mirror opposite.
hmm so you sort of need to, if I were to leave a note with this, consider what the other one might be going through
Yeah.
that seems impossible, that seems tough, and then apply that to when you're discussing with them. Or even just think about the impossibilities you feel like you deal with every day and imagine the fact that they're dealing with the opposite version of that.
Well, yeah, think about how impossible it is to hold down a full-time job and be a full-time parent simultaneously.
hmm
How are you going to do that? So,
Plus all your chores and everything, and then for housework, and then, if you're a younger couple, just trying to build up your careers as well.
yeah. Yep.
So, well, thank you so much for listening to this quick discussion. Um, pick them up by the boot. Pick themselves up by the
Yeah,
bootstraps.
man, pick yourself up by your bootstraps.
Hopefully, in the future, you'll all consider maybe when you're talking with someone what they might be going through. Until then, we will see you next episode. This has been The Glass Floor. Bye.
I
Like and subscribe.
like and subscribe.